Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I can't believe this is my first video of this year. But so today we are talking about dimensional analysis. This is a chemistry topic and it's quite a lot of math. So let's jump straight into it. What is dimensional analysis? Well, dimensional analysis is it's basically conversion of units. And you're basically just converting different units into other units and values into other values, i.e. years into seconds, miles into kilometers, that whole jazz. And so I have a few examples that we're going to go through together, and then I'll teach you along the way. So first, example number 1, our first thing that we should do to convert 255 inches squared into meters squared is to just write my conversions on the side. So I know that 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. 1 centimeter is equal to 0.01 meters. And yeah, that's the only ones we need. So now, to start off, we're going to draw our table where we're going to start off with 255 in the top. Change the color. 255 inches squared at the top of the table. Okay? And so then to get rid of this, to convert these inches, what I want to do is that I want to move this inch to this bottom. So I'm going to write 1 inch squared. And I'm going to convert, because technically to convert inches to meters, I would have to first do inches to centimeters and centimeters to meters. So 1 inch equals right here 2.54 centimeters. But this is squared. So I'm going to square the centimeters, and I have to square my 2.54. And so now that I have this in the table, I can cross out these inches squared, because now that the unit has been multiplied away, so it equals 1 and it's gone. Basic math. So now that I have the centimeter at the top, the only way I can get rid of that centimeter value is by bringing it to the bottom. In the next column, the bottom. So now I'm writing here 1 centimeter squared is 0.01 meters squared. And then I also have to square my value as well. So now I have this centimeter and this centimeter canceled out. Now, if I grab my calculator and I plug in these numbers. So what I want to do is I want to do 255 times 2.54 squared times 0.01 squared divided by nothing. So now I'm just going to plug these into my calculator. So 255 times 2.54 squared, I get a number, and then I'm going to times that by 0.01 squared, and I get this answer. My answer is 0.1645158. Now, I can leave this, but I have to convert this into scientific notation. So I'm just basically going to bring this one space front. So my total answer is going to be 1.6. And then a good rule of thumb is to round to maybe 100th, or they'll specify. For now, I'm just going to do 1.645 times 10 to the power of -1 meters squared. And that is your answer for number 1. That's your answer. Now, let's try one with multiple units in it. Okay, for this one, I have 0.025 meters per second, and I'm going to transfer it into kilometers per hour. Now, for my measurements, again, I always just want to write my conversions here on the side so it's easier for me. I know that 1 meter is 1,000 kilometers. And I know that, 1 hour is 3,600 seconds. Okay? So, now I'm going to start my table. I'm going to write 0.025 meters here, and notice how it's per seconds, meaning that's meters divided by seconds. So I'm going to do on my table, the seconds is not going to go up here. No, the seconds is going to go down here in this column, and you learn how to solve that later. So now I'm just going to focus on one of my things. I'm just going to focus on meters, for example. So to cancel out this meters, I have to bring it to the bottom. So I know that meters, and it's just meters, And I want to get into kilometers, right? So I'm going to write 1 kilometer up here. 1 kilometer is actually 1,000 meters, right? As we wrote. Oh, I actually messed up here. But you get the gist, right? So now here, my meter here and my meter here can cancel out. And I'm left with my answer as kilometer. But now I have to convert the seconds into hours. Now, notice how the seconds here is at the bottom. So now, to cancel the seconds out, I have to move the seconds to the top, okay? And not because my answer is going to result in the hour, I want it to result as a 1 hour. So 1 hour is 3,600 seconds. So notice how my seconds and my seconds can cancel out completely, leaving me with an hour, a kilometer, and my numbers. Now I'm just going to plug this into my calculator. I'm going to do 0.025 times 3,600 divided by 1,000. And I get 0.09. That's my answer, kilometers per hour. And then I'm just going to move the decimal 2 spaces. So my answer is 9.0 times 10 to the negative 2 kilometers per hour. That is your final answer for that question. Got it? Next question. So now I'm actually dealing with values of volume now. And it's not really that hard. So this question is asking, convert 0.01310, it's a long number, kiloliters into, this looks like a funny symbol, but this is actually called a microliter. And so, basically, how to solve this one is I'm still going to write my conversion. So the way I could do this is that I could go from kiloliters, so 1 kiloliter, and I have my conversion sheet right in front of me, so I'm reading off of this, equals 1,000 liters. It's a big, kiloliter is big. And 1 microliter is actually equal to 1 times 10 to the negative 6 liters. In other cases, this is just the same as a number is 1 with 6 places. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Meaning that it is equal to 0.00001 liters. It's just 1 to the negative 6. Okay, and now I can start my table. So my table, I'm going to start off with 0.01310 KL here at the top. I'm going to draw my table. And then here again, I can do, so my thought process behind this is that I can do kilometers to a liter and then a liter to a microliter, and then we'll get the answer. So now to do that, I'm going to over here just write 1 kiloliter up here, and that's equal to 1,000 liters, right? And so this kiloliter cancels out with this kiloliter, and I'm left with 1,000 liters. Now I want to cancel out this liters and turn it into microliters, so I'm going to bring the 1 liter here at the bottom, and I know that 1 liter is equal to, 1 microliter is equal to 1 times 10 to the negative 6 liters. In other words, 1 liter, this could be rewritten as 1 liter is equal to 10 sixth microliters. So up here at the top, I'm not going to write out that big number, but you could if you wanted to. I'm just going to write 10 to the power of 6 and then microliters up there. That is my conversion thing. Now, all I have to do is plug in, and as you can clearly see, this liter cancels out this liter, this kiloliter cancels out this kiloliter. And now I'm left with my numbers and then the final answer, which is in microliters. Now I grab my graphing calculator, my scientific calculator, and do my calculations. So I'm going to do 0.01310 times 1,000, right, because it's up here, times 1,000, and then whatever I get times 10 to the power of 6, times 10 to the power of 6. And I get this really big number. It's 131 with 5 zeros. And so now I can just simplify this to equal 1.310 times 10 to the power of 7 microliters. That's your answer. Great. I feel like we're getting the hang of this, right? So the last one I want to do with y'all is this one. So this one, it's kind of a little tricky, but we low-key just have to lock in. So this one, it's asking 4.2200 meters cubed per second. Convert that into milliliters per minute. Okay, on my conversion factor sheet that I have in front of me, I can see here that 1 centimeter cubed is equal to 1 milliliter. And I know that 1 centimeter is equal to 0.01 meters. So technically, what I'm going to have to do is that I'm going to have to go from meters to centimeters, and then centimeters cubed to milliliters for this one. And then seconds to minutes, I know that 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. Great. Now let's start our table. Our table, I'm going to write in the top 4.22 meters cubed at the top per second. So seconds is going to be at the bottom. Start my table. So now I have meters cubed, and I can convert meters cubed into centimeters cubed, right? Because in 1 meter, there's 100 centimeters, right? So in 1 meter cubed, there's 100 centimeters cubed. And then I have to cube both of my numbers as well. You can't leave those hanging. Now I can cancel out my meter cubed and my meter cubed, and I'm left with centimeters cubed. Now to cancel out the centimeter cubed and convert it into milliliters, I'm going to bring the centimeters cubed down. So 1 centimeter cubed is just equal to 1 milliliter. Okay, easy. I got rid of this. I got rid of this. And then now I actually have one of the final answers that I'm looking for, milliliters. Now I just need to convert my seconds into minutes. And because the seconds is here at the bottom, I'm going to bring my second to the top. 1 second is equal to, 60 seconds is equal to 1 minute. Because I always want to, if I'm trying to convert it into minutes, for example, I always want it to equal 1 minute. So in this case, I want to do 1 second is equal to 0.6 minutes because that'll mess up my calculations. I want to do 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. And now I can just easily plug all these numbers into my calculator. So this times this cubed times this. And so now I'm just going to do that. So 4.2200 times 100 cubed, 100 raised to the power of 3. I got like a huge number, times 60. And this is like a big number I see. So I'm just going to write this out. And the reason why is for a lot of these, you'll get such huge numbers. So answering in scientific notation is like almost like, it's like always needed. Like that big number. Now I can just, all the way up to here. So I'm going to get 2.532 times 10 to the power of 8 milliliters per minute. And that's it. That's exactly how you solve dimensional analysis. I feel like we've gotten the hang of it pretty well. So I want to do one more question with you guys, and let's do this one together. So like grab a piece of paper and pencil if you want, and let's do this one together. So this one I have, and this was from the worksheet she actually gave us. My question is convert 0.00527 meters per second squared into kilometers per hour squared. Great. This seems great. So again, I just want to write my conversion factors here on the side. I know that 1 kilometer is equal to 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. And then I know that 1 hour is equal to 3,600 seconds. I'm going to use these. Now, do this together, okay? So now, what would your first step be? So it would be, and feel free to pause, do it by yourself right now, and then unpause it and see my answer. So 0.00527 meters per second squared. Sorry, let me fix that. Meters per second squared. And I'm just going to make my table. Now, what's our first step? Whatever the first step, your first step should have been that you want to write that 1 kilometer up here is equal to 1,000 meters. That way, I can actually just cancel out my meters and my meters, right? And we're going to do that. Cancel out meters and meters. Now, next step is that I have kilometers. That's one of my final answers. Now, I need to convert this second squared into hour squared. So because the second squared is at the bottom, I'm going to do second squared at the top, right? So second squared. And there's how many? In 1 hour squared, there's how many seconds squared? Is 3,600 squared. Because I have to square the number as well. Now, this second squared and this second squared have canceled out, meaning that I'm just left with my 2 units perfectly there. And now I'm just going to do my calculations on my calculator. 0.00527 times 3,600 squared. 3,600 squared. And I get like a big number. And then I have to divide it by 1,000. And my answer is 68.2992. I just want to round it to like the nearest 10. 68.3 kilometers per hour squared. I hope you got that answer. If you didn't, feel free to watch other videos. Feel free to hit me up if you have any questions whatsoever. I'm always free. You can always DM me, text me, whatever. I'm always free. Please, I love to help. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day.